The blackness of space stretched endlessly around the small human ship Odyssey. Stars glittered faintly, distant and cold, but it was the emptiness in between that made the crew uneasy. They had traveled farther than any human team had ever gone, past the edge of the Orion cluster where maps ended and only silence remained. Ilara Voss, the youngest mechanic on the Odyssey, leaned against the control panel, staring at the screen. Her fingers itched to touch something, anything, that might break the monotony. She had grown up in orbiting stations, fixing broken engines, rebuilding ships that even seasoned engineers had given up on. Her skill was unmatched, but it was her curiosity that made her truly dangerous in the best possible way. "Captain," she said finally, pointing at the display. "I'm picking up something huge. It's, I don't know, kilometers long, and it's drifting dead in space." Captain Marcus Halden, a grizzled veteran of the interstellar exploration fleet, frowned. "Dead ship, out here, that's not supposed to happen. Could be a rogue freighter, maybe a lost research vessel." Ilara shook her head. "No, this is different. The energy readings are alien. Massive, older than anything we've cataloged. Its systems are failing, but there's still power in the core. Someone built this for war." The bridge fell silent. The idea that an alien warship could be floating here, unclaimed and intact, was almost unbelievable. Every star system they had passed whispered of civilizations far more advanced than humans, yet none were supposed to leave their weapons in the open, unguarded. Halden made his decision. "Set course. We take a closer look, but no boarding yet. We scan first." The Odyssey changed trajectory, its engines humming softly. As they approached, the enormous shape came into view on the screen. The ship was immense, far larger than any human craft could ever be. Its hull was jagged and strange, with angles that made no sense to human engineers. Ships designed by humans followed predictable logic, every surface calculated. But this was alien. "It's beautiful," whispered Dr. Sienna Rao, the ship's xenobiologist, though her voice trembled with fear. "It's alive in some way, not really alive, but I don't know, it's like it's breathing." Ilara grinned, ignoring the tension. "Alive or not, it's broken, and broken things are my favorite challenge." The ship's hull was scarred, burned, and partially crumpled in places, as if it had fought a battle no one had survived. But the core, the central engine, still glowed faintly, pulsing like a dying heart. "Do you even understand what we're looking at?" Halden asked quietly, almost to himself. "This ship, it could destroy entire planets if it were operational." Ilara didn't answer immediately. She just stared at the readings, tracing the faint patterns of energy flowing through the failing circuits. To anyone else, it was incomprehensible. But Ilara saw the faint glimmer of possibility, the faint chance to turn this wreck into something extraordinary. After hours of careful scanning, the Odyssey moved into orbit around the alien ship. Small landing drones were sent to map the surface. Images returned. Jagged towers of alien metal, strange glyphs glowing faintly, and massive weapon arrays that hung like silent predators waiting to awaken. "Unbelievable," murmured Rao. "Even the smallest weapons here are bigger than our entire fleet's main cannons." Ilara's eyes shone with excitement. "And they're all dead. If we can get in, even if just a few systems, we could learn more than anyone ever imagined, maybe even use it." Halden shook his head, his face tight with concern. "Use it? Ilara, that's insane. We don't even know if it can be controlled. These are weapons of war, not puzzles. One mistake and we're toast." Ilara smiled, a little crooked, a little dangerous. "You're thinking like a soldier, I think like a mechanic, and mechanics we don't quit, we fix." The first boarding party was small. Halden, Ilara, and a handful of specialists. The airlock was enormous, alien, and unwelcoming, but Ilara's hands moved over the console, adjusting, adapting, translating alien symbols into her own makeshift control interface. She always believed the key to understanding alien tech wasn't brute force or advanced theory, it was intuition. As the airlock hissed open, the team stepped inside. The interior was dark, metallic, and humming faintly. Strange lights flickered along walls that seemed to bend in ways humans had never imagined. The floor shifted slightly underfoot, as if the ship itself responded to their presence. "Keep your eyes open," Halden warned. "We don't know what's in here." Ilara ignored him, moving forward with purpose. Panels that had resisted the scanners from orbit were suddenly readable under her touch. Small lights blinked alive where no one had expected them to. Systems that had failed for centuries stirred at her hands. This is incredible," she whispered. It's like it's sleeping, waiting for someone to wake it. Hours turned into days as Alara and her team explored. They found weapons arrays that had never fired, engines that still had dormant power, and a central core that pulsed with potential energy. Every step into the ship revealed something new, a challenge, a puzzle, a promise of power. But there were signs of danger. Security drones, long since disabled, occasionally flickered to life. Strange holographic patterns scrolled across walls like warnings in an alien language, and the ship itself seemed aware of them, moving subtly, shifting slightly, as if observing. One night after hours of work, Alara sat alone near the ship's central hub. The pulsing core cast long shadows across her face. She spoke softly, almost to herself. "Imagine what we could do if we understood you," she said. "Not destroy, not conquer, but make you ours. Make you something no one else could." There was no answer, only the faint thrum of energy, steady and eternal. The Odyssey crew rested elsewhere, but Alara hardly slept. Every flicker of light, every faint pulse of energy was a clue. She traced circuits, bypassed locks, and pieced together systems that had not been touched in 1,000 years. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, the ship began to respond. Panels flickered alive. Engines hummed softly. One by one, systems that had been dead for centuries began to stir. The next morning, Halden entered the hub. His eyes widened. What did you do?" Alara smiled without looking up. "I didn't do anything yet, I just woke it up. It's alive again, not fully, but enough." Rao stepped forward, her voice trembling. "Do you realize what this means? This ship, it's a weapon, a warship, and it's human now?" Alara shrugged. "It's not human yet, but it could be, and maybe that's exactly what we need." Halden ran his hand through his hair. "I don't like this. We barely understand it, and already it's reacting. If word of this gets out," Alara met his eyes, calm and fierce, "then humanity will be ready, not because we copied them, not because we can match them, but because we can think differently. See possibilities where they see death. That's our strength." The alien ship pulsed again, softly this time, almost like a heartbeat. Alara leaned forward, touching the smooth alien surface. A thrill ran through her, the kind she had only felt when repairing ships that others said couldn't be fixed. And she knew this was only the beginning. Somewhere in the galaxy, old powers slept peacefully, unaware that the dead warship had found new life, a life guided by human hands, human mind, and human courage. Alara smiled. "Let's see what you can really do." The alien ship loomed around the Odyssey, silent and massive like a sleeping giant. But now, thanks to Alara, it was awake. The crew could feel the subtle hum of power flowing through the hull. Even from the observation deck of their own ship, the ship's energy made their stomachs tighten, a quiet warning of what it could do if fully awakened. Alara didn't sleep. Nights aboard the Odyssey had little meaning when one could spend hours inside the alien ship, feeling its pulse, tracing its circuits, and trying to understand its systems. She moved with confidence through corridors lit by faint alien glow, her tools in hand. Every panel she touched seemed to respond to her, blinking and whirring with life. "This place is alive," whispered Dr. Rao, who followed her cautiously. "I've studied alien tech for years, but nothing like this. It reacts to us." Alara grinned. "Good, it should. Humans aren't predictable. That's our advantage. Aliens build machines to expect certain behaviors. We don't follow their rules." The first major challenge was the propulsion system. The alien engines were unlike anything humans had designed. Massive, glowing cores hummed with raw power, but the conduits were failing. Every attempt to fire the engines from the ship's own control panels resulted in flickers of energy and warning sirens. One false move, and the ship could overload, destroying itself and anyone inside. Alara studied the schematics, lines and patterns that made no sense at first glance. Her human brain began seeing patterns the aliens hadn't intended to be obvious. She traced circuits with her hands, testing the reactions of the alien AI. "Stop touching that," Halden barked from behind. "We don't know what that does, one wrong move and—" "I know what it does," Alara interrupted, her voice calm. "And I know what it should do." Minutes stretched into hours as she bypassed a series of alien failsafes, adapting human logic to alien engineering. She designed a new interface, simple, intuitive, something even a human pilot could understand without needing centuries of alien training. When she finally activated the engines, there was a low vibration underfoot, a gentle hum of raw power, and then a soft pulse, as if the ship was testing her. Lights flickered along the hull, and the alien AI, dormant for centuries, began responding to her commands. The engines didn't roar like a human ship. They sang a deep, vibrating song of energy. Rao's eyes widened. You've done it. You've made it. Listen to us." Alara smiled, exhausted but exhilarated. "We're just starting. Engines are one thing, weapons are another. And I think we'll like what's coming next." The weapon systems were even more terrifying. Massive turrets lined the hull, energy conduits branching like veins. Every one of them was cold, inactive, and deadly. Aliens had built weapons capable of destroying planets in seconds, but they had designed them for predictability, static targeting, slow adaptation, precise but limited. Alara approached the main weapons control hub, panels glowing faintly as if recognizing her presence. She studied the alien language, symbols flowing in patterns she couldn't read, yet she felt what they meant. She connected her own tools, improvising a translation interface. "Think like a human," she muttered to herself, "not like an alien. Aliens think linear, humans think flexible. That's your edge." Hours turned into a full cycle of the ship's artificial night. She worked tirelessly, rerouting energy, bypassing alien protocols, creating human shortcuts. Slowly, the turrets came online, one by one. The soft glow of power ran along their barrels. "Target dummy asteroid," Halden suggested cautiously. "Don't shoot anything that matters." Alara smiled. She didn't need the suggestion. She had already begun testing. The weapons hummed, pulsing in time with the engines. When she pressed a control, the targeting systems moved faster than expected, adjusting instinctively to environmental factors, a subtle intelligence that was part alien, part human. "Look at this," she said, pointing to the screen. "The targeting isn't just precise, it learns." "It anticipates," Rao gasped. "Anticipates, that's beyond any AI I've ever seen." Alara shrugged. "No, it's beyond any alien AI I've ever seen. Give it a human mind, even partially, and suddenly it's creative, dangerous, beautiful." The first test shot fired into a distant asteroid. The beam sliced through rock as if it were paper. Debris scattered, but the ship adjusted its aim automatically, preparing for the next target before the first impact even finished. Halden swallowed hard. "This is terrifying." Alara leaned back, smirking. "Terrifying to them, incredible to us." It wasn't just the weapons or engines. The alien ship had layers of intelligence, networks of sensors, defensive shields, and hidden systems that humans weren't even supposed to understand. Alara spent days exploring the hidden corners of the ship, finding control matrices that responded only to thought patterns. She realized that the aliens had underestimated creativity. They designed systems to respond to calculation, not intuition, and humans were intuitive. One night, while tracing the core energy flow, she discovered a hidden compartment. Inside, a small alien drone flickered to life, its sensors focusing on her. It wasn't hostile, it was curious, almost cautious. Alara crouched near it, her hand extended. "Don't worry. I'm not here to destroy you. I want to understand. Help me." To her amazement, the drone began feeding data directly into her makeshift interface, revealing hidden passages, emergency protocols, and even parts of the alien ship's long-forgotten war history. "It's sharing with us," Rao whispered. Alara nodded. "It trusts humans. Why? Because we think differently. We don't just follow the rules. We improvise. We create. That's something they couldn't predict." Not everyone on the Odyssey was comfortable with the pace. Halden warned repeatedly about overconfidence. "One mistake, Alara, one wrong move and the whole ship blows, or worse, it kills us silently and we never even see it coming." But Alara ignored him. The more she understood the alien ship, the more she realized it wasn't just a weapon. It was a puzzle, a challenge designed for minds that could see patterns where aliens saw only calculation, and humans were masters of pattern finding. By the end of the first week aboard the ship, the crew had begun to see the truth. Where alien engineers had designed for destruction and control, Alara had designed for adaptation. The ship could move faster than its creators had intended, aim more precisely than any alien calculation could allow, and respond in unpredictable ways. Humans had added creativity to raw power. "The aliens underestimated us," Alara said one evening, standing in the glow of the engine core. "They built their perfect weapon for themselves, but they never imagined someone who thinks differently, someone who doesn't follow the rules, someone like us." Halden didn't argue. He only nodded, silently acknowledging that humans had found their edge. Yet there were signs of danger. The ship wasn't fully loyal. It reacted unpredictably at times. Energy pulses that had no explanation, corridors that seemed to shift subtly, and systems that locked her out for brief moments. Even the drone occasionally withdrew, as if warning her that she was close to something forbidden. Alara knew she had to be careful. Every success brought power, but also risk. One wrong move could awaken something else, a deeper system that humans weren't ready for. Still, she pressed on. She traced circuits, connected systems, and merged human logic with alien machinery. Slowly, the failing ship was becoming more than a wreck. It was becoming a weapon, yes, terrifying, but under human control. And that made it something the galaxy had never seen before. On the final night of her second week aboard, Alara stood in the main hub, surrounded by screens, panels, and humming alien energy. She had stabilized the engines, brought most weapons online, and had begun a rudimentary interface that could allow humans to pilot the ship without destroying it immediately. She took a deep breath, feeling the pulse beneath her feet. The alien ship was alive, but now it was listening to her, learning from her. And she knew deep in her bones that humans had unlocked something extraordinary, a weapon built by aliens, made better by humans. Alara smiled. "Tomorrow," she whispered to herself, "we see what you can really do." And somewhere deep inside the alien ship, something ancient and powerful stirred, sensing a mind unlike any it had encountered before, unpredictable, fearless, and entirely human. The alien ship towered in orbit around a barren asteroid field, its massive hull glowing faintly. Under the light of a distant star. Inside, Alara Voss moved quickly through the corridors, her tools clanging softly against the metal walls. The ship hummed with life, responding to her presence. It was no longer just a wreck drifting in space. It was a weapon, slowly learning to obey its new master. Captain Marcus Halden followed cautiously behind, his face tight with concern. "Are you sure we should be doing this?" he asked, his voice low. "Testing the weapons in live space? One mistake and we could blow up half the field, or worse." Alara didn't answer. She had already begun interfacing with the main weapons control. The turrets along the hull blinked alive, energy lines flowing like veins. She tapped the holographic console she had built herself, translating alien commands into human logic. "We're not attacking anyone," she said finally. "We're testing, just a small field, nothing alive, and this ship," she smiled, eyes sparkling. "This ship can do more than anyone ever imagined." The first target was an asteroid roughly the size of a small city. The ship's massive weapons hummed, energy flowing through conduits that had not carried power for centuries. Alara guided the targeting system with a careful hand, her interface allowing her to anticipate movement patterns the alien AI had never predicted. "Firing in 3, 2, 1, she whispered. A beam of concentrated energy shot from a turret, striking the asteroid with a thunderous impact. The rock exploded in a cloud of debris, which the ship's sensors immediately tracked. Almost instinctively, the turrets adjusted, predicting the trajectory of falling fragments. Another volley fired, destroying smaller chunks before they could scatter too far. Halden's eyes widened. "It's adapting. It's learning as it fires." Alara nodded, her hands moving quickly. "It's responding to human logic. Aliens built it to be precise but predictable. We're making it flexible, faster, smarter." Rao, standing beside Halden, shook her head in disbelief. "It's beautiful, terrifying, but beautiful. I never thought a weapon could. Think." The team spent hours running the first trial, moving the ship through the asteroid field like a predator. The massive hull weaved between rocks, engines humming with power, energy shields flaring briefly as debris brushed past. Every movement was smoother than any alien manual had suggested. Every calculation was faster and more precise than any AI had been designed to achieve. By the second day, the ship had begun to behave almost as if it had a mind of its own. Alara adjusted controls, but the ship occasionally preempted her, moving its turrets, shifting shields, and adjusting engines before she even issued a command. "Is it aware of us?" Rao asked nervously. Alara shrugged, her fingers flying across the interface. "Not aware, not really, but it reacts to human patterns. It learns differently than aliens expected, and humans were unpredictable. That's what makes it dangerous." Halden rubbed his face. "Dangerous is one thing, terrifying is another." Do you realize what happens if word gets out that humans can control this? Entire species will freak out. Alara smiled faintly. Exactly. Let them underestimate us. That's what we're good at. The third day of testing brought the first real challenge. The asteroid field had a dense cluster near the center, and the ship's sensors detected unexpected energy readings. Remnants of alien surveillance drones left behind during some long-forgotten battle. They flickered to life as the human crew moved near, small but lethal, capable of tearing apart a human ship if left unchecked. Alara's eyes narrowed. So they left some guards, not a problem. Not a problem, Halden repeated, alarmed. Those things could destroy us. Alara ignored him, moving toward the control hub. They're small, slow, predictable. We'll see if our ship can think faster. The drones moved like shadows through the asteroid field. Alara activated the weapons system. Energy beams fired from the alien turrets, not randomly, but with human intuition guiding them. The first drone exploded mid-flight, the second barely dodged, only to be intercepted by the adaptive shields. This is insane, Rao exclaimed. It's defending itself, targeting them before they even get close. Alara's grin widened. Humans didn't just wake this up. We made it smarter than the aliens intended. This ship isn't just a weapon anymore. It's alive with human logic. The rest of the drones were neutralized within minutes. Halden leaned against a wall, pale but awed. I've seen a lot in my career, Alara, but nothing compares. After the battle with the drones, Alara began experimenting with the ship's engines. Aliens had designed it for linear travel, slow, predictable, heavy maneuvers. Humans, she realized, could do better. Using intuitive calculations and improvised controls, she adjusted the power flow, allowing the massive ship to make sharp turns, rapid bursts of speed, and evasive maneuvers that would have been impossible for the original alien pilots. The ship danced between the asteroids, massive yet agile. Every movement tested the limits of physics and the human mind, pushing the alien design beyond its intended capabilities. It's incredible, Rao whispered again. It's faster than anything the aliens ever imagined. Alara's eyes glimmered with excitement. Faster, smarter, unpredictable, that's humanity's edge. We don't just follow rules, we break them and invent new ones. Word of the human-controlled ship began to spread. From distant observation posts, alien scouts picked up unusual energy readings in the asteroid field. Reports described a massive warship moving with impossible speed, its weapons firing with uncanny precision. Rumors traveled faster than data streams, and before long the galaxy began to whisper about the humans who had revived the ancient weapon. Halden finally addressed the crew. This is getting out of control. Other species are going to notice. Some of them will panic. And others, he paused, his voice grim. Others will try to destroy us before we can even explain ourselves. Alara listened but didn't reply. She had expected this. She had always known that humans tampering with alien technology would draw attention. That was part of the point. Humans were underestimated, and the galaxy had no idea what was coming. The final test of the first trial was improvisation. Alara simulated unexpected attacks, sending holographic targets through the asteroid field and observing the ship's responses. Every turret, every shield, every engine output adjusted instantly, preempting threats in ways even she hadn't anticipated. This is beyond prediction, Rao murmured. The ship is thinking ahead of you. Alara laughed softly. Not ahead of me, with me. That's the difference. We're teaching it human logic, human intuition. Humans see possibilities aliens never imagined. For the first time, the alien ship wasn't just a weapon of destruction. It was a reflection of human ingenuity, adaptive, creative, fearless, and unpredictable. That night after the first tests, the crew gathered on the observation deck. The alien ship glowed softly in the darkness of space, its massive hull pulsing like a living heartbeat. Halden spoke quietly. You realize what we've done, don't you? We've taken an alien warship, a weapon built to destroy civilizations, and made it ours. Alara didn't answer immediately. She stared at the ship, feeling its pulse beneath her feet. We didn't make it ours, she said finally. We taught it to think like us. And that's more dangerous than anything else in the galaxy. Rao shook her head in disbelief. Dangerous, yes, but also beautiful. Humanity, we actually made something better than the aliens did. We didn't just copy them, we improved them. Alara smiled faintly. Exactly. That's what humans do. We adapt, we innovate, and now we have something no one can predict, a weapon built by aliens perfected by humans. Halden rubbed his face, both proud and terrified. If anyone finds out, Alara's eyes glimmered with determination. Then we'll show them. But on our terms, the galaxy isn't ready for what humans can do, not yet. The alien ship pulsed softly in response, as if acknowledging her words. A giant of war, once dead and abandoned, now alive and learning a new kind of intelligence, human intelligence. And for the first time, the galaxy had no idea what was coming. The galaxy had always underestimated humans. Most alien civilizations regarded them as primitive, slow, and predictable. But the discovery of the alien warship, and its sudden revival under human hands, was beginning to change everything. Alara Voss stood on the bridge of the alien ship, looking out at the void. The stars stretched endlessly, but now, each point of light held potential allies, potential threats, and potential prey. The ship's hull pulsed softly beneath her feet, humming in sync with the rhythm of her heartbeat. It was more than a machine now. It was alive with human ingenuity. Captain Marcus Halden leaned against the railing behind her, arms crossed. "You realize what we're doing, don't you? Aliens are going to hear about this. And when they do, some of them won't just be curious, they'll be scared. And some will come after us." Alara didn't look at him. She was focused on the controls, running simulations, adjusting energy flows, and refining weapon targeting algorithms. "Good," she said. "Let them be scared, they should be. Humans don't need to fight like aliens expect us to. We fight like humans, clever, flexible, unpredictable." The first demonstration came sooner than expected. A small alien scouting vessel appeared near the edge of the asteroid field, likely sent by a neighboring system to investigate unusual energy readings. It was fast, sleek, and armed with energy cannons capable of tearing a human ship apart. Halden tensed. "Alara, you can't fight that with the Odyssey, even with this." He gestured at the alien warship. Alara smirked. "Watch me." She took the controls, guiding the ship like a predator stalking its prey. The alien vessel fired first, but the massive warship was faster than expected. Its shields adapted instantly, dispersing energy beams harmlessly. Turrets responded with lightning speed, anticipating every movement of the smaller vessel. The human crew watched in awe as the alien ship fired precision shots, disabling the vessel's engines without destroying the hull. It was a warning, a demonstration, but it carried a clear message. Humans were no longer to be underestimated. The alien crew, stunned and unprepared, sent out distress signals. But before they could finish, the Odyssey's drones disabled the communication arrays. The humans had made their point. They could destroy anyone, anywhere, but they didn't have to, at least not yet. News traveled fast. In less than a galactic cycle, whispers spread across systems. A human crew had awakened an ancient alien weapon. A ship that could outmaneuver, outthink, and outgun any known vessel. Aliens began to take notice, first with fear, then with curiosity. Alara and her crew used the time wisely. They continued to upgrade the ship. Weapons became more intuitive, able to track multiple targets simultaneously. Shields adjusted automatically, even predicting incoming attacks from alien AI algorithms. The engines moved faster and sharper than anyone thought possible for a vessel of its size. Humans were doing something no alien had ever achieved. They were improving an alien weapon, making it smarter, making it faster, making it uniquely human. Other alien species began to underestimate humans less, but fear more. Alara knew that fear could be a weapon just as powerful as any cannon. She began to run simulations in uninhabited sectors, testing the ship's potential. Asteroids, abandoned satellites, and distant moons became her training ground. Every maneuver, every shot, every adjustment refined the ship's abilities. During one exercise, Halden approached her, his expression grave. "You know what this means, right? Aliens are going to come after us. They won't just spy. They'll try to destroy the ship before we can show them more. And when they do, if we're not ready—" Alara didn't finish his sentence. She didn't have to. She had anticipated it. "Then we'll be ready. This ship isn't just about firepower. It's about thinking, predicting, surprising them. Humans aren't machines. We improvise. That's why they'll never expect us." Halden shook his head, half in disbelief, half in awe. "I don't know whether to admire you or be terrified." Alara smiled. "Both. That's exactly what humans are supposed to be." The first encounter with a hostile fleet came faster than expected. A coalition of alien patrol ships, alerted by scouts, moved to intercept the humans. Dozens of vessels, all sleek and deadly, converged on the asteroid field where the humans had been testing. Alara didn't panic. She activated the ship's full systems. Turrets hummed, energy pulses flowed, and shields flared in anticipation of attack. But she didn't just fire at them. She maneuvered the ship with precision, weaving through asteroids, leading the alien fleet into positions she had calculated in advance. The first shots from the alien fleet were easily deflected by adaptive shields. But instead of firing back immediately, Alara let them close in. Every movement of the humans was designed to confuse, to surprise, to force errors. And the aliens made them. One by one, their ships became vulnerable. Alara's human-controlled alien ship fired precision shots, disabling engines and weapons systems without killing the crews. By the end of the skirmish, the alien fleet had retreated, sending messages warning their superiors of the terrifying new human weapon. Halden stared at the ship's control panel, breathing heavily. They've never seen anything like this, not in their histories. They think humans are primitive, and now they know they were wrong. Alara's eyes glimmered. That's the point. We're underestimated, we're unpredictable. And now we're feared. The galaxy began to take notice. Systems once indifferent to humans now sent scouts, spies, and emissaries. Some came to observe, some to threaten, but all approached with caution. Word spread, the human crew had mastered a weapon no alien could fully control. Alara didn't revel in the fear. She studied it. She understood its value. Fear, when used wisely, could buy time, space, and strategic advantage. Humans didn't need to conquer immediately. They only needed to demonstrate power and intelligence. That was enough. Rao, standing beside her during a strategic review, whispered, "Do you realize what this means? Humans were no longer ignored, no longer weak. We're something else." Alara nodded slowly. "We're humans. That's all we need to be. No alien could predict us because they think like machines. We think like humans. That's why we've won, and that's why we'll continue to win." The humans began experimenting further. They adjusted the ship's systems to work more intuitively with human commands. Turrets could anticipate attacks before sensors even picked them up. Engines could make impossible turns. Shields could adapt faster than the aliens' own predictive software. Alara often stayed late in the control hub, alone, refining, testing, pushing the ship to new limits. It responded to her in ways that were almost organic, almost alive. She realized that in teaching the ship human logic, she had created something no alien could have imagined. A weapon that could adapt, evolve, and even surprise its own creators. The rise of the human-controlled alien ship became a symbol. Humans had once been dismissed, underestimated, laughed at. Now across the galaxy they were feared. The whispers in the dark corners of space were the same. Humans were clever, unpredictable, and terrifying. Alara understood that fear was a weapon in itself. She didn't need to destroy entire fleets to prove humanity's power. One demonstration, one precision strike, one clever maneuver was enough to rewrite the galaxy's perception. Humans were no longer a minor species. They were a force, calculated, intelligent, and deadly in ways no alien could predict. Late one night, Alara stood alone on the observation deck. The alien ship pulsed beneath her feet, a heartbeat syncing with hers. Stars stretched endlessly, but for the first time the universe felt different. The galaxy was watching, waiting, and trembling at the thought of humans commanding such power. Halden approached silently. "You're changing everything, Alara. They'll never underestimate us again." Alara looked out at the darkness, her expression calm, almost serene. "We don't just fight like aliens expect. We fight like humans. Clever, unpredictable, fearsome when necessary. That's why we've survived, and that's why we'll thrive." Rao joined them, her voice barely a whisper. "Do you realize what you've done? Humans, we've become legends already, and we haven't even started." Alara smiled faintly, her eyes glinting with determination. "Not legends yet, but soon, very soon." The alien ship pulsed again, responding to her presence, its power fully awake, fully aware, and fully human. The galaxy would soon learn a lesson it would never forget. Humans, though small and underestimated, had a mind and courage no alien weapon could fully control. And the age of fear, the age of human ingenuity, had begun. The galaxy had changed. In just a few cycles, word of the human-controlled alien warship had spread across star systems. Whispers traveled faster than light. Humans had revived a weapon older than most civilizations, a ship that moved faster than its creators imagined, aimed with deadly precision, and learned unpredictably from its pilot. Captain Marcus Halden watched the stars from the bridge of the alien ship, his hands gripping the rail. Ilara, I don't think anyone expected this. Entire fleets are watching, some are fleeing, some are preparing to attack. Ilara stood beside him, calm and focused. Her eyes reflected the glow of the massive hull around them. Let them watch. Let them fear. They've already underestimated us once. This is our chance to show them humans are different. She touched the control console, feeling the alien ship hum beneath her fingers. Its massive energy cores pulsed like a heartbeat, responding to her presence. It had learned human logic, human intuition. It could outthink, outmaneuver, and outfight any force in the galaxy, but it wasn't a tool of destruction yet. That was her choice to make. A transmission arrived uninvited. A coalition of alien species had formed in secret, a fleet far larger than anything humanity had faced. Their message was simple: surrender the weapon or face destruction. Halden's eyes widened. Ilara, this is it. They want to destroy us before we can even fight. Ilara studied the stars, calculating their position, speed, and attack vectors. She wasn't afraid. Fear was for those who could be predicted. Humans weren't predictable. They don't understand us. They think strength is firepower, but we have something more: creativity, intuition, flexibility. They won't expect what comes next. Rao joined them, her expression worried. Ilara, what will you do if they attack? The ship is powerful, yes, but against an entire fleet. Ilara smiled faintly, almost cruelly. Then we make them hesitate. That's the first step. Humans survive because we adapt, not because we overpower. The alien fleet appeared on the sensors, thousands of ships moving in formation, weapons glowing, engines blazing. They expected a standard engagement, predictable maneuvers, logical attacks. They were wrong. Ilara activated the alien ship's engines. The massive vessel moved with a grace no one expected. It twisted, spun, and shifted like a living predator, weaving through space, avoiding fire, and positioning itself strategically. Every turret, every shield, every drone responded instantly, learning from her movements. Halden stared in disbelief. They're trying to hit us, but it's like the ship can think ahead of them. Not ahead, Ilara said calmly. With me, that's the difference. The first wave of enemy ships approached. The alien warship fired not to destroy, but to disable. Engines exploded, weapon systems shut down, and shields were pierced in warning shots. The human-controlled ship demonstrated its power, showing that the humans could strike anywhere at any time with deadly precision. The alien fleet paused. They were not prepared for this level of skill, this human unpredictability. Ilara's strategy was clear: fear before fight. Humans didn't need to destroy entire fleets to prove their dominance. One demonstration, one clever maneuver, and the galaxy would understand. She maneuvered the alien ship closer to the largest vessel in the fleet, a battleship that dwarfed even the alien warship's massive hull. She positioned herself so that if she fired, she could destroy it completely. The alien commanders sent warnings, hails, and threats. But Ilara ignored them. She was no longer a mechanic. She was the master of a weapon they could not predict. Do it, Halden whispered. Destroy it, end this. Ilara shook her head. No, not yet. We don't fight because they threaten us. We fight because we choose. Humans are clever, and we also have mercy. That's what they don't understand. She fired a single, controlled beam at the battleship's engines. They exploded silently, rendering the ship immobile. Its weapons were offline. She could have destroyed the crew, the hull, the entire fleet, but she didn't. The alien commanders sent another transmission. We yield, please spare us. We see now we underestimated humans. Ilara leaned back, calm but alert. They've learned something. Humans are not just weapons. Humans are thinkers, unpredictable, and dangerous when forced, but not unnecessarily cruel. Over the next cycles, humans continued to demonstrate the ship's capabilities without outright destruction. Entire fleets halted attacks when they realized that humanity's weapon was not only powerful but intelligent. Humans had turned fear into leverage, gaining respect and negotiating space in the galaxy. Ilara worked tirelessly. She improved the ship's systems even further. Engines that could make impossible maneuvers, shields that could anticipate attacks, weapons that could target multiple enemies with precision. Each upgrade was human-centered, designed for creativity, intuition, and flexibility. The galaxy began to whisper. Humans were no longer primitive. They had mastered something greater than raw firepower. They had mastered thinking differently, and that made them dangerous. But power brought choices. Alara knew that she could have conquered entire systems. She could have forced submission through fear and destruction. She could have made humans the dominant species of the galaxy in a single cycle, yet she hesitated. Humanity was clever, but also compassionate. They had survived not just because of power, but because of intelligence, creativity, and adaptability. Using the alien weapon to conquer would betray those qualities. Rao approached her one night, the ship humming softly around them. "Ilara, you could take everything. You could be the most powerful being in the galaxy." Ilara looked out at the stars. "I could, but that's not humanity. Humans survive because we make choices, because we adapt, because we are clever and sometimes merciful. If we destroy them now, we lose more than we gain." "Fear is a tool, not a weapon of conquest." Rao nodded slowly, understanding the weight of her words. "You're right, we are humans, not machines." The alien commanders requested a meeting. Ilara agreed, docking her ship near their immobilized fleet. She boarded their command vessel, calm and confident. The alien leaders were shocked, not by her, but by the presence of humans controlling a warship older than their civilizations. "We underestimated your species," one commander said. "We see now humans are more than we imagined." Ilara smiled. "You still underestimate yourselves. Humans survived because we adapt, we improvise, we think differently. We don't need to conquer to survive. We need only to show that we can, and that's enough." The aliens nodded slowly, fear and respect in equal measure. They began to negotiate treaties, trade agreements, and borders. The humans had won without unnecessary bloodshed, showing the galaxy that cleverness and choice were more powerful than blind aggression. Back aboard the alien warship, Halden approached Ilara. "You could have ruled the galaxy." Ilara shook her head. "I could have, but ruling isn't survival. Choosing wisely is. Humans aren't conquerors, we are thinkers, that's why we thrive." The alien ship pulsed beneath her feet, responding to her calm determination. It had learned to move like a human, to think like a human, to act unpredictably, and that made it the most feared weapon in the galaxy. But its true power wasn't destruction. Its true power was choice. Ilara looked out at the stars. The galaxy would never underestimate humans again. Not because they conquered, not because they destroyed, but because they were clever, adaptable, and fearless. Humans had taken an alien weapon, broken its limits, and made it better. But more importantly, they had done so with restraint, with strategy, and with humanity. The galaxy would remember this day. Humans were no longer weak. Humans were no longer primitive. Humans were unpredictable, dangerous, and brilliant. And Ilara Voss smiled, knowing that the future belonged to humans not through domination, but through ingenuity, courage, and choice. The alien warship pulsed once more, its energy resonating with human logic and human creativity. It was alive, it was powerful, and it was a reflection of its master, humanity itself. The age of human ingenuity had begun.